guys, how are you? My name is Julian. I'm an IT uh, self apprentice from Mexico. Today I'm going to show you some kind of very interesting Git tool that we have for hosting our own projects. It's based on Git, similar to GitHub, but it's called Gitea. So I'm here ready with some Linux installation in my computer, and you're gonna learn how to install this program, and you also are gonna learn how to configure this program thank you to its web uh, user interface, and it's gonna be very easy. So what we have here, we have Linux installed and working, and we need some commands to activate and install our program on here. So the first thing we're going to do is update our system. So we're going to perform this command, and I like to add this function, and I also like to execute this functionality, which is called full upgrade, or the other option is this, I mean, upgrade, dist, sorry, dist upgrade, yes. So we're gonna say yes to this. We'll go for an enter. We'll put our password, and now it's working. So we're gonna have both the update and the upgrade, okay? Let's wait for this to be performed. It's reading packages. So I made a mistake here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna execute only this. Sorry again. There you go. All right. So we are set. Let's clear some a bit. Now, what we need to do is to install our Maria database. So we're gonna execute sudo apt install Maria DB server. All right. We're gonna say yes. As you can see, my program is in Spanish, but if you're familiar to Linux, you're gonna understand pretty easy how it's gonna be performed in the end. So we have a message for changing some directory, but it's okay. It's no big deal. This is not gonna stop our installation or is gonna mess with the performance of the program. I think it's done. Yeah, it's done. So let's gonna clear to have this nice and neat. All right, now we have Maria database server installation already. So what we're gonna do now is gonna create a database. All right. So we're gonna execute as super user, and of course the command to call our program as root, and it's gonna ask for our sudo password and Maria is saying welcome. All right. So we're gonna create a database. It's very simple. It's very easy. So what we're gonna do is to get these commands. We're gonna say create database, Gitea, query OK. Now we're gonna give to this database privileges, and we're gonna put some password. The password, I'm gonna create a password just for this tutorial. Whatever is okay. Please don't do this in your computers. Don't do this in your programs. This is only an example of password. This is not a strong password. We are talking about databases. They have to be uh, protected with strong passwords. And there's also another way to protect our database, and it's called to security for our Maria database. Okay, I can show you how to do this in another video. So it's done. Now we're gonna flush the privileges. As you can see, we are all set. Okay, okay, okay. And now we are going to exit from Maria database. And it says bye. There you go. So let's gonna clear the screen, and the next step is to install Gitea. But before we start with the installation, we have to create a new user. We're gonna call this user Git. So I'm gonna use this command, which is add user as super user. We're gonna perform like this, and we have the response from the program, and now it's done. All right. Now we are set. Let's go and download Gitea. And I want to pay attention to this because it's very important that you have the last version of this program. So what we need to do is we need to go to the GitHub project from Gitea, and we are going to download or to check for the version that we have in in the repository. All right. So I think the last version is 6. I mean, not 6. Let me see. It's 1.21. I think is the last one. But we're gonna get this right now. So hold on, please. So we're gonna execute this command. This is sudo wget, and we have to use the URL where the program is ready to download. All right. If you're not going to use sudo and you're doing this as root, of course you don't need sudo. But if you don't type sudo, it's gonna be a bit difficult for you to download anything from any repository you want to use for your programs or applications or whatever you want or whatever you're going to do about this. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is to move uh, our downloaded file to the file usr bin Gitea, the one we created before. Uh, you have to move this file there, all right? So again, sudo, and we're gonna execute this command to move our installation, I mean our downloaded file to this new directory. All right, it's done. So what's next? Now we have to change the permissions for the files and directories we just created. So we're gonna execute chain owner like this, and we can create, after this we're ready to create the directories we're going to use for the program to perform in our servers. All right, so again, sudo, let's create the directories first. Now let's gonna change the permissions. Again, sudo. We are not getting any uh, response that indicate us that we're doing something wrong. We're changing the permissions for the user. Remember, we have a user called Gitea. All right. All right. There you go. Now we are ready with the directories and we have assigned the permissions. So we're gonna create the Gitea service. So what we're gonna do? We are gonna write on this directory, we're gonna create the service. All right, we are in this directory, systemd, which is the one we need to start all the services that we need to perform different tasks in our server. So we're gonna write here these instructions. So we're gonna say unit description, Gitea, syslog. Oh, sorry, I forgot to get another line. And all these instructions is for our system D to know when and how we need the service to start. All right, so that's all for the unit. Now let's go with service. You can change this time if you wish. If not, just put like this 3 seconds. Type of restart, it's simple. Of course, we are talking about the user, which is Git, the group, which is also Git. Our working directory is var lib Gitea. And now we're gonna give to this the instructions for starting. All right. The instructions are placed on this file. app.ini. This file is placed here. If you want to change anything about the configuration of Gitea, you need to go here. And this is a place you need to perform some changes in order to have access from the outside, mainly from the internet. If you need to get into your repositories from the internet, you need to go to this file and change it. I can show you how, and we can look at this in another video. All right, so we want this to restart always. Our working directory is the same. And the installation is the same as the user. We're gonna get some space here. We're gonna add some space also here. So and this is the instruction, multi-user target. That's all, folks. That's all for the service. We're gonna save this with Control O, and we are going to say goodbye. So we have the service written and all the instructions, but now we need for that service to start in our system. So what we're gonna do is gonna reload the daemon. Remember, sudo, and we're gonna start our service Gitea. Again, sudo, there you go. And last but not least, we are gonna enable our service. Again, this is gonna create a symlink. What is a symlink? Is a link between the place where the service is gonna start and the file where the service and all the instructions for the initiation of the program are placed. Remember that file is the one that ends with .ini. All right? So guys, that's it. Then, what we need now to check if our service is running is to get into the web user interface. All right? Let's do this. So our service is running in the port 3000. So what we're gonna do is to place here our IP address, I mean local address, all right? And we need to set the port where our service is running. There you go. So with this is the configuration. This is the database. Remember our password, not the strongest. And basically, that's all you need to do. Okay? We have another uh, configuration here, which is optional. And what we need to do is to press here for the service to run and the program to be installed. So it's working. It's getting in communication with our server and it's loading. There you go. That's it. What's next, guys? All right, we need to make a registration. We need to place a user. Let's go for this user. If you have an email, go for your email and whatever password you want to place here twice, and that's it. Oh, sorry. Our password has to be a bit longer. So there you go. So the account is created successfully. All right, go next. What we're gonna do next? We are gonna migrate our repositories. But in order to do this, if you already have some project in GitHub or uh, in another Gitea project or whatever you are saving or holding your projects, it's okay. We have three options to do this. Through an organization, a new migration, or a new repository. In my case, I already have some projects running in another servers. So this is for you to learn how to do this new migration. And it's very easy. All right, let's go for this. And this is a kind of a tricky. Why is tricky? Well, I said that I already have some project running in Gitea in another server. But if you want to migrate from Gitea to Gitea, it's not going to work. Why? Because remember this all these Git, GitHub, Gitea are Git projects. And this is going to search for Git projects, not Gitea projects, no GitHub projects. So we're going to use Git. We have in Spanish here, it says migrate from a repository or any Git service. All right? So I already have in my memory the URLs that I have running in my server. So I already have some projects, like I said. This URL that you see here is in your other instance. Okay, this is my domain, and this is the name of the repository that I already have running. The user I already have there, and the password. And I want this repository to be a replica. This is very easy. Whatever configuration you have here is going to be cloned in this new repository. So, migrate repository. Let's wait for this to work. It says migrating from Git. There you go. As you can see, now this is the new address in this server, and this is my project as I also have running this page is already hosted in the other server and it's running. So this icon here is showing that this is a clone. It's cloned from this place. We can go and click here, and there I already have this in my cached memory. I have to go for the session, and that's it. Okay, I'm gonna do this later. So Okay, guys, that's all. As you can see, it's very easy, it's very simple, and I hope you like it. See you on the next video.